Last time, we dissected why we fight. But biology and social behavior feel rudimentary when you're living in the March of 2026. Russia-Ukraine was bad enough, and now the powder keg that was the Middle East seems to have been lit. As we record this, Ali Khamenei and most of the IRGC's leadership have been confirmed dead. What seems to be coming is a potentially brutal war, one that spirals either into a civil war or a new regime that accepts American and Israeli terms, but resumes oppressing the Iranian people. Either way, that is a different rabbit hole. We are here to dissect conflict. Contemporary issues just make it easier. So, if war is about survival, why do modern wars feel like they'd help survival by not happening at all? Why are they never-ending meat grinders, insatiable holes sucking in funds and producing nothing but misery, bad news, and mists of blood? Well, because war stopped being just about survival a long time ago. Once tribes became states, war became something colder, a tool, a calculated instrument. Leaders learn blood buys power. Remember the animal reflex from the previous video? The us versus them instinct? That raw violence didn't disappear, it just got harnessed. The history's turning point wasn't a battle. It was organization, the rise of the state. The moment violence stopped being tribal chaos, the state claimed a monopoly on violence. Max Weber called it the defining mark of the modern state. Only the state can legitimately threaten force. Everyone else disarmed or recruited or crushed. War became political. Not instinct, not revenge, policy. When diplomacy fails, when negotiations stall, when a rival king wants your land, your trade routes, your throne, you declare war. You mobilize, you conquer, all to achieve what words could not. Karl von Clausewitz said, war is merely the continuation of policy by other means. The Prussian general didn't invent this, he crystallized it. War isn't separate from politics. It is politics, but with guns, a real instrument, like treaties, alliances, sanctions, spies, but one that breaks wills when softer tools bend. Alexander the Great didn't just fight for glory. He spread Hellenic culture, secured trade, built an empire to outlast him. Rome conquered not for sport, for grain from Egypt, slaves from Gaul, taxes from provinces. Even the bloodiest wars hide calculation. World War I, alliances, nationalism, imperial rivalries. Politics gone kinetic. World War II, Hitler's Lebensraum, Stalin's buffers, Allied confinement. All political ends, raw ideology dressed as strategic goals. At the risk of oversimplifying this issue, let's take an isolated aspect of the current conflict in Iran. A country sanctioned for decades, a broken economy, a lack of tech and research, oppressed people and crushed rights. That is the cost of running a theocratic society. You sacrifice pragmatism for control. China and Russia provided a pulse, but not a life. Iran shares a problem with its eastern neighbor, Pakistan. Their theocratic influence is not congruent with the cultural history. It creates a subconscious dissonance, like covering a car with a sheet, only to hide it in an open field, expecting no one would notice. It might work if only people are distracted. For Pakistan, that distraction is India. For Iran, it is US and Israel. Of course, not causelessly, Iran as it is today is a product of another dirty trick in warfare used by global powers that we will discuss in a different video. If at this point you think this is propaganda for either side, you will love our upcoming video on information warfare. Anyway, at the end of the day, the collective misery and death in the Gulf today is not a product of primal survival exercise, but a reaction to a calculated agenda. War still melts the old world, only now states wield the furnace deliberately. They burn rivals, but instead of empires rising, existing powers secure the throne on conquered ashes. Today, the tool evolves. The logic stays ancient. Nations still use force, or the threat of it, to redraw maps, secure resources, topple regimes, project power. War never stopped being animalistic brutality, it just got better at hiding behind flags, speeches, and noble causes. War didn't become politics. Politics became war with extra steps. If this peeled back another layer, if you liked this video, like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon to support us. Comment what modern war is really just politics in disguise, and I'll reply to the sharpest ones.